Ever wondered how exactly Zero's bore has the ability to melt bosses in Borderlands 2? Is it a glitch, or did Gearbox actually design it this way? Before we jump into the technicals, here's a 10-second explanation on the surface level ability. Bore is a tier 4 skill in Zero's sniping tree. On paper, it makes it so your shots pierce through enemies rather than stop at the first hit. On top of this, it deals bonus damage if they hit another enemy. Sounds simple, right? But with the addition of an unintended behaviour between bullets and overlapping hitboxes, this simple skill gets out of hand very quickly. So, for every additional target hit, they get a cumulative 100% damage bonus. This means that if you hit 3 enemies in a row, the third one hit will take 300% damage. However, it gets more complicated once you look at overlapping hitboxes. This is because Bore doesn't just follow the bullet through the enemy. It actually measures the hit like normal and then spawns a new bullet in the same trajectory. Therefore, if you have an overlapping hitbox, it counts every frame generated as a hit. This means that within the time the bullet is passing through both hitboxes, it also spawns a new bullet. So, let's use a quick example. You're using an OP10 Lyuda and shoot one bullet. One bullet does 2.5 million base damage, but I'd keep in mind Bunker at OP10 has over 9.5 billion HP. Let's say you're playing the game at 240 FPS, and as it's hard to judge since every hit is different bullet velocity, different travel distance for example, but just for the sake of the example, we're going to say it takes roughly 0.5 seconds to travel through the overlapping hitboxes. This would mean 240 FPS times 0.5. The number of bullets generated would come out to 120. Now, looking back on his skill, this would mean the 120th bullet comes out to a damage bonus of over 12,000%. And as we said, one shot from the OP10 Lyuda is 2.5 million. 2.5 million times 12,000 is over 30 billion damage. So obviously you would beat the Bunker in one shot. The enemies with overlapping hitboxes are Bunker, Saturn, Motor Mama, Hyperius, the Binary Boss, Badmore, General Loaders, Constructors. However, it is possible to do the kind of God Bore with anything, as long as there's 2 enemies next to each other, resulting in the overlapping hitboxes. Another thing just to take note of is with each successive bullet generated, the on-hit effect is also triggered. And the reason your PC crashes is simply because there are too many separate bullets and trajectories being generated and worked out all at one time. Also, some people prefer to use guns like the Twister, since the regular shot spins around and penetrates the enemy multiple times, in turn spawning new bullets multiple times, which then have the possibility to continue spinning and penetrate and spawn and on and on. Therefore, you have the possibility to bore any singular enemy, even if it doesn't have an overlapping hitbox. However, it's not so common and very difficult to achieve. That's it for now. Hopefully you learned something. See you later.